From Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matthew R. Meehan, alongside my partner, the Professor Luigi Rosabianca. What's on tap today, Luke?
Matt, you and I have this shared passion, and we love small business. But every once in a while, you and I get tired of the vanilla. Everyone's a coach, everyone's a media guru, everyone's doing email marketing. No one does anything different or outside the box. Oh, pun intended. Today we have Mark Stern, who has this amazing small business concept called Custom Box Agency. Mark, welcome to the podcast. Tell the audience what the Custom Box Agency is and how it can help tell the story for each particular small business.
Yeah, thank you, Lou. It's so good to be here. I'm really excited about this. So, Custom Box Agency, what we really focus on is how do we optimize the customer journey and enhance the overall experience. So when you are selling a product and service, you're selling some type of outcome. How can we get them that result faster? What we do when we work with clients is we tend to go through, optimize that journey and produce a physical box experience around their business. And a lot of what we're trying to do is how do we incentivize and get results faster? How do we gamify your business in a really powerful way? And when we create these boxes, we can ship them out globally to your clients, customers, patients to give them a really clear roadmap and everything that they need to be set up for success with your products and services out of the gate.
Now, Mark, our audience tells us we listen to your podcast while we're washing the car, while we're doing accounts payable, while we're cooking dinner at night. But your product has a beautiful, visceral, physical feel and presentation. Can you walk the audience through the box experience? I mean, you get that box in the mail. What happens next?
Yeah, and we always say there's 3 goals with boxes, and we anchor these goals based on the customer life cycle. So think about it this way. 3 phases. You acquire a customer, then you deliver your products and services, and then you want to retain them. So we have 3 different types of campaigns, and there's all different ways we can build out these box experiences. So we can leverage boxes to show you how to get new clients or customers. We can show you how to get them results faster, or we can show you how to utilize it to extend lifetime value. To your question, Lou, what goes in those experiences? A lot of what we want to do is make your business as simple as possible to understand and to navigate. So when you open up one of our boxes, you'll see that a lot of our boxes tend to trend smaller because the more that we've tested different sizes of boxes, we find that boxes that are smaller that could even fit on your bookshelf, people are going to keep and hold on to longer. Inside the box, what we want to do is have a simple welcome note, a getting started guide to reinforce your products and services, the benefits that you have to offer, the tools and resources that they have access to, and how to get started with your program. And then in addition to that, what you'll find is something we call a journey map. So think about this, if this is a board game, how do I turn your business into like a one-pager to show people this is the journey you're about to go on with working with us? And then the other things you'll find inside the box are all the tools and resources they need to be set up for success while navigating your products and services.
Now, without putting words in your mouth, I can almost see how this can apply to every sort of business, whether it's brick and mortar, retail, manufacturing, service-based. I mean, every business has a journey.
Yes. For us, we break it down and say there's 5 core, and there's really 6 that are starting to pop up with us that we've really done a lot in. Biggest ones for us, software as a service is huge, because when you have a software as a service, you have a monthly subscription. How do we incentivize utilizing the platform in the first 30 days? Because if I can get you to utilize the platform in the first 30 days, you're going to be stuck there longer. Service providers like doctors, lawyers, chiropractors, that's a big space. E-com products, employee and employee retention is a growing category for us. How do I send and really enhance that employee? Because especially in a post-COVID era, maintaining good quality staff and personnel is becoming harder and harder. So again, you can incentivize that behavior with a really cool onboarding experience for your employees. And the other 2 categories in the online space are info products like courses and virtual events, as well as coaching programs. So you're right to say that there's a case that can be made, and it's just a different strategy on how you approach it.
I mean, everyone loves getting a gift, right? We love swag, but your swag is swag plus plus. It's swag on hormones.
Yeah. We joke and say that swag means stuff without a goal. And we say that just because like if I just get stuff in the mail, to me, stuff gets left in the hotel room. Stuff gets donated to Goodwill. It gets thrown out. And with these experiences we create, we don't want to just send you something that you're just going to look at and then toss. We want you to truly keep it. When we think of swag, swag has its place, but I like to use swag as an incentive, saying if you hit a certain milestone in our process, then we may trigger the tumbler or the Yeti mug or the wine glass or the t-shirt or the jacket, but you earned it. It has a different meaning than just getting it for signing up or showing up to an event.
Mark, I feel like we're telling the punchline of a joke without telling the joke. Walk the audience through the process. Like, I have a business, I have a brick and mortar, I have an e-commerce. How do I even start creating and designing a box?
Yeah, for us, it all anchors on your business strategy and what is it you're trying to achieve. So when we work with clients, we have 3 different phases. Phase 1 is what we call activate. This is where we do a 2-hour virtual strategy session to really break down your business. Because sometimes people come up to us thinking, here's where we should have this experience built out. But when we see all the pieces, there's other low-hanging fruit. And then what we do is clients typically fly to Austin and spend a day with us to completely bring to life this experience. And by that point, we'll get deep and smart on your business because we want to make sure we're serving you at the highest capacity. After that, what we produce is what we call a blueprint. Here's the experience we're building out on your business so you can see it. We'll give you your forecast numbers. We'll give you everything you need to understand the impact of the campaign. But when we advance to phase 2, then it's all about design. So our team can help bring to life and design the entire experience. And then phase 3 for us is what we call deliver. Now that we've designed it, we can sit it into production. We have a warehouse in Austin, Texas. We can assemble it all and we can manage on your behalf, shipping out these materials. If you want to utilize our fulfillment capabilities, we can ship out US or global. So we try and make this process as easy as possible to take a lot of pressure off of you as we start to really reimagine what is possible for your customer journey.
So Mark, the rumor has it you started out in the conservative confines of Deloitte and Touche. How does a consultant at Deloitte come up with such a creative, innovative business model?
It's crazy. You know, the funny thing about Deloitte,
you have to have a creative wife.
Yeah, it's funny because my entire career pre and post Deloitte in some capacity has been involved in like experiential marketing or some type of experience design. Even when I was at Deloitte, I worked heavily in the retail sector or the travel, hospitality, leisure. So it was like the fitness experience of the future or the retail customer experience of the future. The big thing was I went to a conference that was run by a company called Mind Valley. I don't know if you've heard of Mind Valley before. I had no business being at this conference. I saw a YouTube video and tried to get all my friends from business school to go with me to this conference that was TED Talk speakers in the daytime and Burning Man parties at night. And I just needed something different. And when I went to this conference, everyone was a digital marketer or an online entrepreneur. And it was the first time that I realized that like I was raised in Alabama and we all believe that there's just one like path to success, which is you graduate high school, you go to college, you graduate college, you get the job, then you go to grad school, and then you get the job post grad school, and you know, wife, house, picket fence, you know, all that. I graduated my MBA in 2012 with $165,000 in student loan debt, and you know, I knew that I had this like entrepreneurial bug, but once I got bit and was exposed to it, it's kind of like shattered my world to expose a different way to, you know, feel professionally fulfilled. And it took me until 2018 to finally leave Deloitte to jump in on this space. But to your question, a lot of it was just my own frustrations on the digital marketing game. As I delved into entrepreneurship, I'm like, people are making so many things so complicated. If they could just send me everything I need to be set up for success, you eliminate all the obstacles that are preventing me from getting started. And so that's kind of where this started, was that I did a virtual conference and off a whim sent out a publication I produced. So I built like this publication called Entrepreneur Elements. What I didn't expect is every person I sent the publication to started doing unboxing videos or taking pictures with what I sent them and posting it online, filming little videos. And there was just something around tagging something physical to a digital experience that really seemed like a huge untapped opportunity for businesses. And the more I tested it, the more I started getting attention, more that people started asking me, how are you doing this? And it just started to grow from there. And when COVID happened, this is when I killed the business that I'd been working and building for the last 3 years in that online space and went all in on boxes. And the business just took off like overnight. You know, our first year we did well over $1 million in this business that was just a brand new concept, and we did it all via word of mouth.
There's something beautifully counterintuitive about your business model. In a world that's going more digital and more AI and more electronic, you're relying upon that physical, visceral presentation that people like to open stuff.
It's experience. So when we get into what is experience, experience is seen through the senses. You know, we talk about Disney being the king of, you know, activating the experience, or going to Vegas and the stimulation. Experience is, you know, what you see, smell, touch, taste, hear. Digital online only taps into what you hear and what you see. The power of tying something physical to it is now I can activate more senses. So how do you create a differentiated opportunity for your business? I held a belief that if you and I were respected in the same regards in the online marketplace, and we had a similar business, if I tied something physical to mine and you did not, I bet I beat you every day of the week, just because I have a more differentiated experience. And I think people think that physical is a lot more expensive, but we've built experiences that have been crazy that cost us under $10 that I wouldn't think twice about doing. And if it's the difference between someone being successful with my product or service or not, spend the $10-15. You know, it's totally worth it.
Well, let's talk about your business for a second, because there is an academic side and there's a design intellectual side. But I would imagine there's got to be a robust manufacturing aspect to your business. I mean, these boxes have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
What's that process like? Where are they made? How are you shipping them? I mean, in a world of eco-friendly, we're using a lot of cardboard.
Yeah, it's interesting. These are all good questions. Usually what we do is if it's under 1,000 units, typically we do the whole thing produced in the United States. If we're looking at over 1,000, you can get the cost benefit of going overseas. We have suppliers all over the world that we tap into, just depending on what it is, because no two boxes are alike. We can, like, our goal is if it's ever been built by man or womankind before, we're going to figure out a way to do it because somebody produced it in some capacity, which means it's figure outable in some way. But, you know, we've done probably about 150 of these experiences to date. And so the manufacturing side, it's a beast, but it's a game that as long as you know how to navigate it, if you're looking at less than 1,000 units, I mean, the cost differential, the savings you'd have, and then you factor in shipping for global shipping, it doesn't make sense. And then the time delays, you might as well get it produced in the US. And we are set up as a distributor. We have a lot of supplier partners in the US and globally. So it makes it easy to navigate that. But I think it's a fun game. You know, for me, I think this is the blessing of coming from Deloitte. I love complexity. I love the complexity of a puzzle. You know, for me, this was just a really fun game to figure out how to put all the pieces together to be able to do this. And then from a warehousing perspective, we have our warehouse here in Austin. We have a whole team that if we need to assemble, we can set up the kitting system and store it and ship it as orders come in. So we try and make it seem as seamless as possible to the client. But I love that degree of complexity that we've been able to figure out on the back end.
You must love all your children, but there's got to be one box that is really special to you.
So you did this to me earlier. This is the hard part. You know, it's there are so many, you know, I would say my box 0 was an event called High Ticket Online that I wanted to tap into a lot of high ticket experts. As box 0, like that was the first box we had ever created. That was something that was really special. We interviewed, and part of why I created that box was, one, I wanted to figure out the process, and 2, I wanted to meet about a dozen high ticket like experts who do high ticket sales. And I wanted to learn from them as I transitioned out of Deloitte, just to see how they did it. And so it was 12 different models of high ticket selling, and to build a box experience and see the impact of that was awesome. But I mean, right now, the one I'm really excited about is card decks. To me, are something that are really interested in a really untapped opportunity. And it sounds like craziness that I'm talking about card decks, but if anyone's heard of brands like Pip Decks or Kitted, like Pip Decks last year, I think did around $10 or $12 million on a card deck that probably cost them under $1 to produce. But these card decks, like think of SAT cards, SAT preps. There are different perceived value than a book. They're typically cheaper than a book. And we just created a card deck around brainstorming out your customer acquisition strategy. Like, how do you get customers? And I think it's going to be an incredible product to release. So this is the one I'm nerding out to the most. I will send you both one of these boxes so you can get your hands on it. But when you see how simple you can do things by just being creative, it's just a really powerful thing. Which is that? That is the
just random knowledge.
Yeah, it's
like,
amazing.
These things I buy them all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And some people are charging for these decks. Like Pip decks is $189. There's another one kitted that is about $200 or $250 per deck, especially like in the business space. And to leverage that as a front end offer to start building relationships. And then on the back end, having workshops in a whole series of ways that you can support and deliver your services. So if you're a certain service provider that's trying to get customers, having a lower ticket product on the front end like that may cost you a couple of bucks, but can start to get the attention of your ideal avatar or customer is a really powerful thing.
Sales too, a lot of sales.
Like objection crushing. I've seen card decks in that space too. Yeah.
Mark, is there a company size that gets too big where your product is no longer marketable? Like there's something very charming about this approach, but I can't imagine Microsoft sending one to every one of their clients. Like what's the Goldilocks zone of customer client size and revenue size where this makes the most sense in scaling a business?
Yeah, the one thing I tell people is if you are like a young or new company, let's just say $500,000, sub-million, and you're still kind of working through validating your offer, you're not necessarily a good fit for what we're doing. And I say that because printed items are not forgiving. Once it's printed, it's printed. Whereas if it's digital, you can upload a new video or a new PDF. So this is kind of where when you go down this process, you want to make sure it's something that's a little bit more dialed. If you have a business and you've done a couple million in revenue before and you're introducing a new product, it's a different story because you typically know your avatar a little bit more to create a new box experience. But heavily of who we played with right now is probably between the $1 and $30 million range. But to your question, there's no reason why we couldn't help clients that are doing bigger. We have a client right now that we're in talks with that wants to do 500,000 units next year. For us to produce the experience, whether it's 10 units or 10,000 units, it's the same process that we have to go through. The difference is, imagine checking out with your Amazon cart and it has the drop down of quantity. That's the only difference, because I can tell you if we're doing 500,000 units, there's a different way I'd approach the fulfillment process. Totally doable. And so for us, I'm not too concerned about quantity. At the end of the day, we can break down any process and build a really cool experience of it. And I would welcome having more 9 and 10 figure clients that we could service at a higher level. For me, I think it would be a ball.
Have you had a lot of experience or success with these like expos and conventions? You know, you sign in, you get a nice little box.
Yeah, it's a great place. I have not done any expos or conventions, but again, there's no reason why we couldn't do it. I would love to do it. And someone was telling me that we need to be setting up trade shows and do more trade shows. Like still to this day, and this is going to change soon, we still have been word of mouth with everything that we've done. Typically when a box drops, we get a lot of attention because people want to know who produced this box, and it starts to fill up our calendar, that capacity. So for us to scale to the next level, we are in the process of writing a book. We're launching our own products. We're launching a podcast series where there's a lot that we're going to do to drive attention to what it is. Because I love our product. The only difference is people just don't know we exist.
Well, Mark, don't be too hard on yourself. You're still a young firm.
Yeah.
You've had wild success in a very short period of time.
So,
well, listen, I knew one of your clients right away. I'm like, is this your client?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's awesome. Because I was actually searching and I couldn't find out. Is your logo on their box anywhere? You gotta start putting your logo on these boxes somewhere.
Yeah. And the latest one we did for that client is beautiful. It's a smaller box strategy. It's really cool. So
yeah. No, the box was extremely well put together. It was amazing. I thought of it. I told Luigi, I'm like, I'm gonna find somebody that does this, and look what happened now.
That's funny. That's amazing. I love that, by the way. So, and it's funny how many times that's happened to get on a podcast and someone's like, "Is this yours?" And I'm like, "That's what."
You to actually see it out in the wild, right?
Yeah, it's so cool. But when you see videos and unboxings and see how it activates their customers or clients, it's to me one of the most rewarding parts of what we get to do. And even for my team is about 30 people right now. When they like even down to the designer, like they could see the impact of their work because they see it live when they see these unboxing videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're with the videos right now. We're launching the podcast series. We're going out. We're focused on growing the company. Are there any other ancillary revenue lines that you're thinking about bringing into the company to grow it?
Yeah, it's great. I think that one of the things that we can easily do is niche down and create verticals based on different industries and have like a CEO focused on real estate clients or focused on virtual events or focused on you just name any type of vertical. Verticals that we're looking at right now heavily are dentists, lawyers, software as a service platform. So these are ones that we can do. On top of that, some of the products that we're launching that are Custom Box Agency's own products. So we're finally, this Activate deck is our first product. We have a second one that we're launching called 57 Hats, which is designed to help business owners understand how many hats are you wearing as a CEO, how many hats are your team members wearing? Because if you knew how many hats you were wearing, then you can take those hats off and hire those roles. And there's a whole back end. And that product, we're already getting a lot of attention of people wanting to co-brand or white label it in some capacity, which will open up a whole nother revenue stream for us to think about, can we create these experiences or partner with other people to create these experiences that they can even white label or co-brand and then distribute to their audience and to go after major associations or networks with it that may have 50, 100,000 people. You know, for me, that could be just a really cool, interesting play for what we're doing.
Yeah, I think white label would be huge for you guys because if you can get in with the right digital marketing teams, clients' ears already. I think that's awesome. So why don't you tell the audience where they can find you guys, how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, the best place to find me is go to customboxagency.com, or you can look me up, Mark Stern, on LinkedIn or Facebook. People are welcome to message me directly. And if I can help you out, I will, or guide you to the right person within our organization. But we have a lot of fun with what we do. It's a fun process.
Awesome. So I know Luigi already asked you, what is your favorite box that you put together? You sidestepped the question. You didn't want to ask it, right? But let me ask you this. What's your favorite industry to work with?
Oh, good question. I actually really like software as a service because like the challenge of the first 30 days, how do I increase that stickiness factor? And one of the boxes that we're looking to launch is really tapped into a really popular software as a service platform that people can white label because, those are things that once you kind of build that formula out, you can have an instant impact on that business and that retention of the business. But that one's just fun because I like things that have the arms and legs of recurring revenue in that capacity. And so, that's just a fun place to play.
Listen, I'm bullish on this because a software as a service company, they sent me a brownie in the mail. I ate that brownie and I was happy. My kids ate it. Everybody was talking about the brownie for weeks. I've been with the service for 7 years now.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So do you find yourself sending out like any food products, or is it mostly like strategies, guides, books, and maybe some swag?
At the end of the day, the big thing we tell our clients is that it's your box experience. And so if it makes sense to send out food items, one of the things you have to be careful of is you have to make sure that it meets health standards with food products. So if it's anything that needs to be like packaged up, we'll have to go through a commercial kitchen before it goes into the box. So it's not uncommon. We've had people do virtual events and put their favorite candies or their favorite popcorn or products in there. That's easy to do. So at the end of the day, my big thing is, what's the story you're trying to tell? Does it make sense or is it just stuff? So if food makes sense, absolutely. We've had global clients that had certain candies from where the parts of the world that they're from that wanted it in the box, that it's your box. So if that's what you want, you can absolutely include it if it's just part of that experience. I don't like just putting things in there for the sake of putting in there, but if there's a story element to it that is like, as a child, this is and you have a story to tell, leverage it as a connection piece or a connection to the community piece.
So Mark, I know you said you've been growing through word of mouth, but have you ever actually sent a box to a prospect to try to land them prior to open the door?
It's funny because like I'm very protective of our clients' boxes because it's not my box, it's their experience. But now that we have our own boxes, we've been doing it left and right. Just because it's the best way to demo our work is to see it firsthand and hold it and experience it. So with that showcase, for anyone who reaches out to us, like we have so many products now that we are able to tap into and send out to clients. And it is becoming a more intentional strategy because, like you said, when they see it, like they get that firsthand experience. It clicks.
Matthew, I'm throwing this out there, but in a few months, look out for the new Shield Advisory Group custom box.
I think so. I think so. Mark, thank you so much for being here, man. We want to be respectful of your time. This was awesome. We had a great time. We learned a lot. And we'd love to have you back at another date and time to see where you grow, because I think your company is going to grow exponentially over the next 12 months.
I appreciate it, Matthew. And Luigi, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you. Everybody, that's a wrap of the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.